Hello everybody. Today's project we're going to make a super cute angel for our mixed media wreath, or you can put it on your tree, or you could even stand it up as a little ornament. And for this little beauty, we're going to be making it out of burlap. So let's go down to the table. And you don't need a lot of fancy stuff. I'm just using stuff that I already had. So what I've got is I've got a piece of burlap. So with my hands, you can see, how big it is. This is upside down. We're talking 12, maybe 13 inches by 7 inches. But don't worry about measurement, because basically you can cut it down to make it as big or as small as you want. You'll need a piece of Kleenex for a small angel, 3 or 4 if you want to make a big angel. And I've got some decor media gesso to prime these angel wings. This is from the Tim Holtz collection. You don't have to buy this. You can just cut it out of cardboard. But I'm just using stuff that I already have. Some gold ribbon. This is wired ribbon on the edges, and some gold wire. Now, I got this wire at the dollar store. It was gold, red, and silver for $1.50. This stuff is not true. This is plated, so if I take my fingernail and go down like this, the finish will come off. But I want to show a cute little technique on making this a bit more substantial. For the paints, I'm going to be using the Decor Matte Metallics because I like the finish of this. But if I wasn't using the Matte Metallics in Vintage Brass, I would use the Dazzling Metallics in Splendid Gold. And now scissors. You'll need a glue gun or just some regular glue that will hold fabric and cardboard together. I've got my brushes on the side. Now, you may or may not need this. Let's say you don't have fabric and you just have regular, you can use a bed sheet if you want. Sometimes when you form, the way I'm going to show you, you form the fabric, it kind of flares up. What you can do, and this stuff is really cool. I've used it on a different project. It's Americana fabric stiffener. And what you do is that when you wet your fabric and then you form it around something, and I just use either pins or string to kind of tie it. Nylon string is even better because it won't stick. I just tie it around to form it, and it holds the shape after 24 hours when it dries out. I think of it like supercharged starch. This is a really good option as well. Okay, because of drying time, first thing I want to do is I want to work the angel wing. So I'm going to get my gesso, my white gesso, and I'm also, I'm going to split these. There we go. And I'm priming these because if I were to put the gold just on the cardboard, the gold wouldn't be as vibrant. So I'm priming this first. This titanium white would have done the job just as well. Gesso is a bit more economical though. And what I'll do is I'll put 2 coats down. Now, if you have, let's say, the base primer or something like that, will work just as well. All we want to do is get rid of this grungy gray. So when we put the gold on, because the gold is a bit more transparent, it will be a true vibrant gold. Now, because we're putting typically the angel will sit flush against something, but if let's say you put it on a tree or you're putting it on a table, you might want to do the back as well. I will be doing the back, but I'll do that off camera. So as with everything, we gotta wait for it to dry. So I'll let that dry, put a coat on the back, then I'll put another, and I'm gonna do probably about 2 to 3 coats on this until I don't see any more of the gray showing through. All right, so I ended up with 2 coats on each side. Now I also thought of something else. If you're using a kind of a flimsy fabric that kind of flared out, you can also put some matte medium on it as well, and the drying time, but that'll help form it too. Even some decoupage medium will help form it. Anything that can go on that's fairly liquid, so the matte medium might have to add some water to it, and then when the water evaporates, it'll be stiff. So you can try that. Okay, so let me get that out of the way, get that out of the way, because that's not what I'm using. So I've already done that. All right. So let's paint these wings. Now you have to shake the dickens out of this stuff. And I'm going to be using a fresh brush. This stuff is beautiful. I love this stuff. Okay, a dry brush too. One that doesn't have any water. And this, what I'll be doing is I'll be doing the additional coats throughout the project because the wings we glue on at the end. Now when I put the gesso on the angel wings, I put them on really rough to give it a real aged look. I didn't want it to be perfectly smooth because then it wouldn't really look real. Really look real, it wouldn't look old. So with this metallic, I'll be putting on probably 3 coats. Depends on what each layer looks like when it's dry. So I love that. See how that looks really rough? I like that. Okay, I probably shouldn't have put that much paint out at once. Okay, let me slide this down. Okay, put that in water. Let those dry, and then we can start this little guy. So I have one piece of tissue. Now what I also did is that when I was cleaning this up, there was some fraying, and I got inspired by this. So I'm going to use that idea. So you take your tissue and you roll it into a ball, put it in the middle, flip it over, and you make like a little, like a ghost. And look how, that's a lot of fabric, but we don't need that much. So let's move this over here a little bit, and let's cut it right about here. Actually, if we want to really do this roughly square, you can make it, oh, it doesn't even have to be straight either. Let's see. There we go. So something like that. And she's going to be relatively small. And then what I can do is from one of the pieces here, just to hold it, is I'm just going to use one of the other pieces of twine that came off. I'm just going to wrap it around a couple times and tie it into a knot. Then, not tie it into a knot yet, sorry. Then you decide which one, where you want it to be, the front or the back. And I'm liking all this extra fabric here. So I'm liking that. So what I want to do, if I can flatten her face out a little bit and then do it like this. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm just doing a dry fit. Okay, we'll just tie that off. Oh, see, now I like this side better. It just depends on what you want to do. Now you can use the wire if you want. That's up to you. We're going to be putting ribbon on this anyways. So now you choose what side you want. Oh, there we go. This is pretty. That's nice too. I think I'm going to use this one. Okay, and if you really want to get fancy, if you have little styrofoam balls, you can use that. Now what I want to do with this is I'm going to start peeling some of the burlap string so I can get it as a fray. Get it frayed all the way across, and how big you make it is up to you. Now if you're using something like an old pillowcase or an old bed sheet or even a face cloth for your little angel, then you won't be able to do this. You can glue trim on if you want. You don't have to. I love that look. Looks old. And this stuff here I'm going to keep to add to some of my resin jewelry. So let's go there. Now what I'm going to do, oh, that's still wet. So what I'm going to do now, she's finished. We can do everything. The wings go on last, so let's just keep going. I'll put another coat of paint on the wings, let it dry, then another coat off camera so I don't waste your time. We'll do her little collar here. So yeah, that's a good length. Cut it. You can use whatever you want. So I'm just going to find the outside. And I love this wired stuff because I suck at making bows, so I don't need to make a bow when I use this stuff. Because all I do is I just use the wire form, make sure I have the right side, and I can just do whatever I want. And we're going to be adding a dab of glue to that, so just one knot is fine. Okay, I want to make a halo. Now this is really, really cute. So we're going to take some ribbon or some wire, and this is super thin, like really, really thin. I'm going to cut off a bit more than what I need, so I'm going to take probably, I have no idea how big this is, 24 inches maybe, I don't know, so just about that much. That, you can make it out of cardboard if you want. Then I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, then I'm going to fold it in half again. And right from here, I'm going to twist that. Then I'm just going to twist these. Now I do this a lot with when I'm making rings. I'll put this in a vise and then I'll just use both hands. So using it one hand, it's not fun with one hand. It's hard because if I do this, it just twists. So if you have pliers, but you know, just have fun with this. And just twist it. This will help make it more substantial because the wire is pretty thin. But if you've got thick wire, that's fine. If you don't have any wire, you can cut it out of cardboard. You can use, make one out of tape, masking tape, and just wrap it around and form it. And so you have something like that. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this off. And now I'm going to get my paint bottle. And I'm just going to go around. It's a bit big, a little bit big. Let me use the cap. Oops. That'll just help form it. And then do a twist. And now the part that's sticking out, I normally use my pliers for this, or even a palette knife. But the whole point of this project is that you don't buy anything special. So just use what you have to kind of flatten out the wire. There's her halo. So we're going to stick that inside her collar. And that's about a good height. And then with this piece here, then we're going to flip that over. So now what this does, flip it over and then twist it. What this is going to do now is you can fasten this now onto your wreath. We're going to be using a glue gun. And you can also now with this, you can hang it. Put a hook on it and hang it. You don't want it too high. You basically don't want to be able to see that loop when you're looking at her little angel. Okay, so that's that. Now, all we need now is to do the wings. So I'm going to add another layer of gold paint to the back, let it dry, then do another layer front and back. And then if I need to do a third layer, I will do that out of camera so don't waste your time. And then we'll glue these on. All right, so now it's all dried. I ended up with 3 coats of paint. And then now we just have to basically arrange it. So you could do the wings. You can set up the wings like in Supernatural when they're really, really big. or you can put them down. It all depends too on where you're placing them. And if you put them too far down like that, then she kind of looks square. I like it like that. You can do whatever you want though. So I'm gonna flip her backwards. You're gonna put, and you can use regular glue, whatever you have on hand. Put that on there, let that settle. And then put a little bit there. And a little bit there. So I'm just going to get that placed, turn that over. Get that on there. These are a little bit big for her. Yeah, I'm going to have to make these a little bit smaller. Okay, so peeled everything right off. Let's try that again. I'm going to cut these off the second notch. Right there. That's better. Okay. So I'm going to use the glue gun. I can just reheat this part up here. You can also use modeling paste, not modeling paste, the high gloss, the gel medium, the high gloss gel. Okay, get her formed. Press really hard. This is why it's important to get the dress formed with texture as well. And then what you can do too in the back, you can put a label or a tag if you want. Where I've got a little hole here, put some glue in there. And where I can see that there's contact with the fabric, I'll put more glue in there. There we go. And just fluff that up. And there we are, ready to go. And see, oh, there we go. I thought the paint peeled there. So she's all set. Now, what I also did is, while I was waiting for that stuff to dry, I made another one with butterfly wings. So just a butterfly cutout, same thing. But this one, she's a bit more stocky, and I didn't fray her dress, but that's easy to do. So you can see with and without the fray. I kind of like it with the fray, and so when you're using burlap, it's very easy to do that. You can just get it started. You don't even have to work all the way around, but it's really, really, really simple. And I can just cut it there because the rest is hidden. See, and then I can just work this part here. So even after the fact, you can still do it. One thing I would recommend, and I got caught with the other one, when you're doing the fraying, maybe vacuum your table or sweep it up, because I got all the dust particles from the burlap in the paint on the wings. And let me just do this one. So that's it, you guys. I would love to see your rendition of this. Now, some ideas. You don't have to use burlap. How about paper? How about using paper? Scrapbook paper. Aluminum foil. That would be kind of cool. Aluminum foil. See? She looks like a hippie angel now. Aluminum foil. What else? Freezer paper. Anything really. You don't have to stick with the traditional things. Just anything that you can wrap around a tissue, you'll be fine. Look at all that burlap dust. There we go. Here we are. So there's our two little angels, and you can further decorate it by, if you want to put eyes on it. I want mine anonymous. You can put, some letters here, like some chipboard or a little printed quote or something right here. That's completely up to you. So do your own rendition and then post a picture below along with, where you got your inspiration. And then what we can do is, if we feel so inclined, is that we can create our own version based on what you post, and then post that as well, and we just have a spider web of ideas. Alrighty, so that's it. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and until I see you in the next lesson, stay inspired.